This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends. It is Wednesday afternoon. Today is January 4th. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. I know that yesterday's broadcast was with a very somber tone based on everything that was going on around the NFL and this young man, Damar Hamlin, and what had happened on Monday Night Football. And so today, even though it's still gray outside and it's raining and it's cold and it's nasty, and the young man is still in critical condition and he's still laying in this hospital bed, Grande and Brown Man, I'll ask you guys. I'm praying for this kid, and when I say praying, I'm not like the most religious guy on the planet, but I'm sending positive vibrations. And while it's been impactful and emotional, I'm kind of ready to get on. I mean, I think. What do you guys think?
I got to ask a question real quick.
Yeah.
Is vibes short for vibrations?
Yeah.
For real?
You don't.
That was a real question?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me you're like, yo, like when somebody says,
vibes
yo,
was its own word.
I'm feeling the vibes, you know?
Yeah.
Well, vibe is its own word. I mean,
right. I've never heard anyone say I'm sending positive vibrations.
Well,
it's the same thing.
I'll give you an example.
Okay,
you ever hear Browner? You know what's coming, don't you?
Yeah, that's why.
You know what's coming, which is why you're dreading what I'm about to say, aren't you?
Do your thing, dog.
Positive vibrations.
Yeah. How about good vibrations, Alex? Have you ever heard of good vibrations?
Good vibrations.
Yeah.
You guys
good
are
vibrations. Yeah. Marky Mark. Before he became Mark Wahlberg, before he became a big superstar, Marky Mark. Good vibrations.
See what's happening right now? What's happening right now is when you ask a millennial to do the phone signal, and we go like this, and then you ask a child or a Gen Z, and they go like this. This is where we're at right now.
Yeah, but
this is
feel it. Come on, Brown. Give me a little good vibrations from Marky Mark. Come on,
dude. I never listened to the song. The chorus is what everybody knows. I don't know any other words. But
good vibrations.
Good vibrations.
Yeah. Feel it.
Sweet sensation.
Feel it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible. I do know that.
What do you mean terrible song?
I was hoping that you would go with Bob Marley. I think Bob Marley has a song like that too, but not that aggressive. I was hoping you were going to go with that one, but
how about the Beach Boys? How about the Beach Boys? Good vibrations.
There you go. You should have went with that one first.
You know,
my bad, y'all. I didn't mean to start the show this way. I just never heard anybody say positive vibrations.
Yeah, positive vibrations, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I could say positive vibes, but in this particular instance, I chose to go with good vibrations, positive vibrations.
All right,
the kids are ruining the language. Everything is cut up.
Yeah.
All the words are short now.
Yeah.
Like they can't say totally anymore. Totes,
my goats. Yeah.
Just finish the word.
Is that what totally is? The short long
totes.
for?
Totes.
No, I'm just playing along.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me start off today by saying that, of course, you know, like my mind is still very much on, you know, the kid and in the hospital. And as a matter of fact, yesterday I got a text. I'm going into my phone here for a second. For those of you that are listening, for those of you that are watching, you're like, yeah, I can see what you're doing. I got a text yesterday from a buddy of mine who has been very close to the Buffalo Bills organization for many years. And what he said to me was, it sounds like his vital signs are good and they're going to try to wake him up. This was last night, tonight or tomorrow. So into today. Think there is concern over how long he went without oxygen to the brain, although you're seeing a lot of reports about lungs, and they're concerned about lungs. As a matter of fact, the uncle said they turned him over and he was laying on his belly. That's it. Back to the text. They said they think that there's concern over how long he went without oxygen to his brain, assuming that they got to him fast enough. And what he said to me was his source of this information was, I can't, whatever. It doesn't matter. Bottom line is, trust me when I tell you, this person who gave me this information knows a person who gave him that information. And that person is very, very close to the Buffalo Bill organization because he or she may have worked in that organization for a really long time. So I think for the NFL, what they're trying to figure out now is, what do we do? What exactly are we going to do? Because for as much as everybody jumped all over a guy like Skip Bayless, who on the Monday night when it happened, and he wrote a tweet that said something to the effect of, hey, this is a monster game. What are they going to do here? And of course, everybody in the world, it's just what we do now is, you're such a bad person. You should be fired. You should be canceled. How dare you talk about the game when it's all about the kid? And that's just what people do, right? But
no, see, I disagree.
No,
I disagree.
No, what disagree with what part?
What got him in trouble, because if you read it, it's nothing that salacious. Mm-hmm. What got him in trouble is, it's when you send it. Don't worry about being first. That's what I was going back to yesterday. Being first is what's important to our society, because that's the way we operate from a news or a Twitter aspect. Mm-hmm. If he'd have sent that tweet the following day, no one would have cared, and it wouldn't have been a thing. But he sent that tweet while all this was happening, and that's what got him crushed.
I gotta disagree with both of you guys.
Yeah, tell me.
I think that it's the person who sent it. It's not what was said. People are always ready to jump all over that guy.
So I'll just tell you guys this. I'm not a Skip Bayless fan. Never have been a Skip Bayless fan.
And that's my point. A lot of people are like that.
Yeah, have never really understood. I get the act. In other words, the act is, he's a provocateur. He's a say anything kind of character. And he's got to know that he's got the support of his bosses at Fox, who are like, well, that's kind of what we pay you for. We kind of pay you to be a dick. Okay. And you're really good at it. Because otherwise, he's a guy who's probably now, out-aged the format, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
And so, Alex, put it up on the screen if you don't mind. This was Skip Bayless. This is 2 days ago. This is during the game itself. He says, and I'm reading this to you, no doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how this late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant. So to me, I know when I read this, I was like, aren't most of us kind of thinking the same thing? Like, you have a team that's 12-3, you have a team that's 11-4, and they're going head to head. And then you've got the Chiefs that are 13-3. And if they don't ultimately get a result from this game, this could upset the competitive balance of the AFC. Browner, you came in yesterday and said, well, they should just give these guys a tie. I actually think, unfortunately, this may not be a popular opinion. I do think this game will ultimately have to be played, because I just think that there's, the how part. Well, the how part of it is really simply this. There is the week cushion between the AFC NFC Championship game Sunday and the NFL's Super Bowl, which is 2 weeks later. So there's that week in between, which is supposed to be the Pro Bowl festivities. And that week, you could play the AFC and NFC Championship game. So you could just push everything back a week and keep the Super Bowl where
Everybody hates that week. Everybody hates that. The NFL hates that week. They got rid of the Pro Bowl game. It's now a Pro Bowl showcase, whatever the hell that means.
Yeah.
So, which could be more fun, by the way. But
it's like, I don't think, what my point is that they're not missing anything.
Yes.
Right. They could play the AFC and NFC Championship game on Sunday. Sunday night, we know who's going to the Super Bowl. Monday, everything is in motion. Tuesday's a player day off. They can all travel. They're in Phoenix Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I mean, what's the big problem?
Everybody doesn't get to the Super Bowl city until Monday, Tuesday anyways.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a big deal.
Look, here's what I can tell you, though. I can just tell you this, that as insensitive as people thought Bayless's tweet was in the moment, probably because of what both of you are saying, who it is and when he sent it, the reaction is just really, it just blows my mind, because it's not just like the average guy with no name to his Twitter. It's like blue check marks and people whose names that jumped on him.
Yes.
And listen,
because when you poke the bear enough, and that's what he does, you called him a provocateur, right?
Yeah.
When you're a provocateur, you get on people's bad side when that's your job. It's not the first time he's been on people's bad side, but eventually you're going to provocateur too much, and you're just going to do it at the wrong time. And that's what happened.
Yeah. Well, I'll just tell you that this morning when I woke up, I went onto Twitter and I saw what I think was the beginning of the Shannon Sharp Skip Bayless show. And the thing is that Shannon was not there yesterday. And I suppose that the prevailing thought was the reason Shannon didn't show up for work the day after the game was because Shannon was so pissed at Skip about the tweet. And I watched this video on Twitter where Shannon Sharp is about to address why he wasn't there. And Bayless interrupts him by essentially saying, I'm not taking the tweet down. And then the two of them kind of battle back and forth. And Alex, do you have that video of the two of them? Here, let's take a watch and listen.
Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down, but I didn't want it.
Well, time out. I'm not going to take it down because I stand by what I tweeted.
Skip, let me finish.
All right, okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Go ahead, let's go, Jen.
Okay.
I mean, I cannot even get through a monologue without you interrupting me.
Well,
you could have came back, Skip.
Well, I thought
Skip, just let.
I didn't know you were going to bring up.
No,
this.
I was just going to say, Skip. I didn't want to yesterday to get into a situation where DeMar Hamlin was the issue. We should have been talking about him and not get into your tweet. That's what I was going to do. But you can't even let me finish my opening monologue without you interrupting.
Okay. I was under the impression you weren't going to bring this up because nobody here had a problem with that tweet.
No. Clearly, the bosses wanted you to offer explanations, so clearly somebody.
No, they did not have. Nobody.
Let's go, Jen.
Thoughts and prayers remain with DeMar Hamlin.
That's where the focus should have been, and not on the football game. Yes, let's go, Jen. Thank you.
All right, so here's the thing. This is going to sound really bad, but it's also going to be really true. But I'm going to just say it. This kind of stuff right here, Skip Bayless saying something outlandish, which, by the way, when you take a look at the number of people that commented, I mean, Alex, if you put the tweet back up on the screen, there were like 163 million impressions. There were 107,000 comments. There were 82,000 retweets, and there were 43,000 likes. When I tell you that is incredible engagement. And while everybody will sit here and go, you're such a dick, I hate you, you should be fired, you should be canceled. You know what the executives at Fox think about this, guys?
Yes.
I love it.
They're like, awesome. They're like, great. Because it may sound insensitive to the young man, okay? But the reality is, if you're in the business of trying to attract eyeballs, what Skip Bayless said, and then what Shannon Sharp did on television, and then the fact that stuff goes viral, and that guys like us, and I promise you guys all over the country are just like us doing the same thing, they're playing that audio. That's how the Shannon Sharp Skip Bayless show, I think it's called Undisputed on Fox, that's how a show like that tries to take a bite out of ESPN's First Take. Do you understand? And so while it may have been insensitive, it may have been classless, it may have been spot on for some people. However you feel about it, it doesn't really matter. The point is that on Twitter, it creates a ton of engagement. And then because Fox doesn't say we're firing you or we're canceling you or we're crumbling underneath the pressure of the angry mob on Twitter, what it does is it prompts people to either go watch the show itself or follow it on social media. And it, again, what I'll say is it's an attempt to take a bite out of the competition. So listen, classless or insensitive, however, or right on, however you feel about it, from a pure TV perspective, ain't nobody at Fox going, fire Skip Bayless. They're like, that's what we pay him for.
Yeah, that's why it was fake.
What do you mean fake?
Oh, God.
That is not a natural thing that happened this morning.
Oh,
that is a heavily produced segment.
Oh, you're saying that the two guys battling, and
I think
won't let me
Shannon
finish.
not showing up. I think building Skip never apologizing, standing by his tweet, because no one at Fox has a problem with it. Of course, it's Fox. So all of this is to add to your point, Scott, is why exactly all of this was produced. Every single moment that happened this morning was heavily produced.
This is the same guy who. No, I don't agree. This is the same guy who thought the Will Smith slap was fake.
You don't want to agree.
You thought the Will Smith slap was fake, yeah?
It still is.
See? See? I think genuinely Shannon Sharpe had a problem with Skip Bayless tweeting that because, as he said earlier, before the part that we didn't play was his brother was paralyzed on the field temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
So he felt some kind of way as a Hall of Fame football player. He felt some kind of way about that. And so he probably feels like he represents a lot of the players on that show. And for him to go on there and go off the rails because it would have, he just didn't want to do it. And that's not the first time that they had a blow up. Like, that's been going bad for a while between them personally, it appears.
Skip Bayless is he's one of these guys that when if you follow him on social media, and I guess I must, one thing about him is he's always like kind of showing off his workouts, almost like, hey, LeBron, you work out really hard. You take really good care of your body because you have to go and perform every night. Well, just like you, I got to get up super early and I got to perform every day and I've got to provocate or whatever it is, et cetera, et cetera. And you know what, dude? I'm going to work out just hard. And then he takes these weird pictures like, hi, I'm a 60-something year old man, but I'm a 71-year-old man, but look at my muscles in my arm. I'm putting my hand up over my head because there's this one picture he just took the other day. He's got his hand over his head and he's like flexing his bicep, and it's like super creepy. You know, like I.
So you follow him?
Yeah, no, I do. I guess I do. Yeah,
that's a lot of information.
Do you not follow him? Because you're the one who likes the show. I mean, I don't like the show.
Yeah, I watch the show. I DVR it. I don't watch the whole thing. I just find they talk about the Cowboys too much for me, and LeBron. So I just find the parts that I'm interested in, and then I play those parts. I'm not against him though. I think he's a genius. I don't like it, but I think he's a genius. Like, he's a 71-year-old man who has no relevance in the sports world other than what he's doing. Like, he doesn't cover any teams. He doesn't necessarily, I don't remember him in his heyday covering the Bulls like he talks about, or covering the Cowboys. I don't remember any of that, any of it. I was reading the newspaper when Michael Jordan was popular. I don't remember Skip Bayless.
But I think listen, I don't know his credentials. I just, listen, for me, I know Skip Bayless because of his work at ESPN with Stephen A. Smith.
Yes.
And whatever his credentials were that they may have highlighted on the screen, you know, Cowboys writer or whatever, because that's the team that I think he's most close to. Because I think that's a team he covered I think. I don't know. For all I know, he could be from down in Dallas. I guess my point is, and I don't even know how this began. How did this start today? I started it?
Yes.
You did.
It's my fault?
Yeah.
That's what you wanted.
Oh. Okay,
I knew we'd get to it eventually, but
we didn't get to it yesterday. We got to it here today.
I mean, it's not, that show is nothing like this show. When Browner says things, that is 100% raw, real craziness. Shows like that, yeah, an interaction might happen where like when Skip personally attacks Shannon and Shannon becomes an instant meme, sure. But that, no.
I really like Shannon Sharpe.
Skip went into that show thinking Shannon wasn't going to bring up his tweet.
I know, right?
You genuinely think that?
Right.
You really think Skip Bayless went into his own show where he gets paid $6 million a year to do, and he was told Shannon's not bringing that up? Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't buy that either. Okay. I don't believe that. Not for 1 second.
And you think Shannon Sharpe's going to fumble the bag over a tweet? He gets paid $3 million himself.
Yeah. I listen, and I love Shannon Sharpe. I'll tell you one thing I really love.
Mad Browner left.
Yeah. You know one thing I really love about Shannon Sharpe, though, is the hustle to the game. Because, you see, if you're already rich and you're already famous and you're already in the Hall of Fame and you are already making a ton of money on television, you don't have to hustle the way Shannon Sharpe does. And he's got this podcast that he's interviewing famous people all the time, which I think is great. And I don't know if you saw this, Alex, but Shannon Sharpe went to visit Deion Sanders at Colorado, and he got Deion Sanders to show him his foot where his big toe was amputated. And I think actually his two toes.
Yes, two.
I think it's the first toe, the big toe, and whatever the second toe is considered. Mm-hmm. And Shannon Sharpe has Deion Sanders take off his shoes and show him his toe or his foot, and there's only the three toes. And Shannon Sharpe says to Deion Sanders, I guess you ain't going to be wearing no flip-flops, bruh. And I was like, oh my God. Like, that is so freaking funny.
Hilarious.
That is awesome.
That is hilarious.
So I love Shannon Sharpe. I think he's great. And I can't stand Skip Bayless, but that's what they want us to feel. And that's why Skip Bayless doesn't get fired, doesn't get canceled. You can jump on him all day long. You can beat him up. You can call him a dick. You can, look at the engagement that he creates. But dude, that's
it's also like, let's not forget.
For.
I don't want to overemphasize this point, but let's not forget. Fox Sports is Fox. They're not going to fire Skip Bayless. They don't fire anybody. It's not ESPN. This isn't Disney. This is Fox. At the end of the day, Fox Sports is Fox. Skip Bayless can get away with a lot more than he could get away with at ESPN.
No doubt. No doubt about it. All right, listen, let me do this. I have a lot of things today that I want to talk about that are outside of just the Damar Hamlin situation. And I think in watching a lot of the morning TV shows and listening to a lot of the earlier day radio shows, I think America is trying to figure out now what happens. What happens from here? These teams are all so close and we're going into the final week of the season. What happens now to this game that was so important? We'll get to all of it. We're just getting rolling. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. This is Kaplan and Crew.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
Customer service is a priority for us. We are door and window dealers and specialists in a variety of different product lines. You're going to see 16,000 feet of the largest showroom in San Diego for doors and windows. We have a magnificent space here, much larger than any other dealer in the area, which makes it very comfortable for our customers to see and feel the windows in person. What you need to know about your project, we're going to ask questions about that. We're going to ask about your lifestyle, perhaps whether you have children or pets, which direction the doors and windows are facing. Do you have a view? Is it about opening space? We want to ask these questions to best service you and provide an overall great experience. People find these things beneficial because we can address perhaps threshold conditions, screen conditions, wall depths, colors, anything else that's important to the project prior to ordering, ensuring, again, complete satisfaction in the long run.
Give us a call or visit us online at PriorityDW.com.
When someone you know has COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, things can progress very quickly, making them feel hopeless. But it doesn't have to be like this.
See, Mom, this place is going to be great for you. They're going to help you breathe better.
Pulmonary rehabilitation at La Mesa Rehab focuses on patient education and training. We use special therapies to improve your lungs, clear out mucus, and keep you out of the hospital. Pulmonary Rehab is Medicare approved. Call now to see if you qualify or ask your doctor about La Mesa Rehab today.
Priority Doors and Windows off Miramar Road is San Diego's largest door and window showroom open to the public. We specialize in quality, custom, and unique doors and windows for every style of home. Priority Doors and Windows offers excellent service and selection with windows by top manufacturers like Fleetwood, La Cantina, Milgard, and more. For the highest value at competitive prices, come visit our showroom off Miramar Road. Just look for San Diego's largest flag or visit us online at PriorityDW.com.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Listen to the Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com. We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
People often ask, when should I call a lawyer after a car crash? If you're injured, then you should call 911 and seek medical attention right away. Then, assuming the crash wasn't your fault, you should call a lawyer as soon as it's safe to do so. There are several reasons why. First, it ensures that your legal rights are being protected while you focus on your health. Second, getting an investigation started immediately can be vitally important, since the physical evidence at the crash scene, surveillance video, or witnesses may not be around for long. Third, unfortunately, Insurance companies may not have your best interests in mind and may try to take advantage of the situation knowing that you are not yet represented. They may try to take recorded statements or make lowball offers. Put it this way, calling a lawyer is free. The cost of not doing so could be quite expensive.
At Shelter to Soldier, being a private nonprofit, we rely on the community. Thankfully, we have sponsors like the Barnes firm that get behind us.
We understand the difficulties that many of our veterans face when they come back into civilian life. And this program just seemed like the perfect fit.
Today we're catching up with Barney. He is now in our matching phase of our program. He is meeting eligible veterans in what we call speed dating.
How's it going?
So we have just recently approved 5 new veterans for our program. So Barney will be meeting every single one of them to see if he is the perfect match for them.
Barney's perfect date would be a nice long walk on the beach, and then he would like to end the night with a nice dinner with his veteran.
We got to find the right person for the right dog.
Most people never expect to get into a crash or trip over a hazard and fall, and they certainly don't expect that it could lead to life-altering injuries. Most of us assume it's just an ache, it'll go away, I'll be fine. And luckily, usually they are right. But unfortunately, some injuries aren't obvious, and the adrenaline of the incident may mask the seriousness of your condition. Plus, when the injury is due to someone else's negligence, then you will have to prove that your injuries are from that incident and not something else. So not only is it important for your health to get checked out to rule out that anything is serious or even potentially life-threatening, it's also important to document your injuries as closely to the event as possible in a medical record. Otherwise, the insurance company will try to use that gap in treatment as proof that your injury is not related to the incident.
Customer service is a priority for us. We are door and window dealers and specialists in a variety of different product lines. You're going to see 16,000 feet of the largest showroom in San Diego for doors and windows. We have a magnificent space here, much larger than any other dealer in the area, which makes it very comfortable for our customers to see and feel the windows in person. What you need to know about your project, we're going to ask questions about that. We're going to ask about your lifestyle, perhaps whether you have children or pets, which direction the doors and windows are facing. Do you have a view? Is it about opening space? We want to ask these questions to best service you and provide an overall great experience. People find these things beneficial because we can address perhaps threshold conditions, screen conditions, wall depths, colors, anything else that's important to the project prior to ordering, ensuring, again, complete satisfaction in the long run.
Give us a call or visit us online at PriorityDW.com.
This is the #1 advice I give to my friends and family. Get the most uninsured motorist, UIM, underinsured motorist coverage that you can. Here's what happens all the time. After a car crash, you have a ton of medical bills, you're out of work, and don't know what the long-term effects of what your injuries will be. Then you find out that the driver who caused the car crash only has $15,000 in insurance. And you say, good thing I'm fully insured. You have good liability, collision, med pay, but only $15,000 in UIM. In that scenario, you and your family are not covered by your insurance at all, and you will be limited to only $15,000 in defendants available coverage. The premiums for and UIM are not expensive, so do yourself a favor, check what your UIM policy amounts are, and make sure at a minimum they're the same as your liability coverage.
Girl Scouts promise to make the world a better place.
I promise to help people in nursing homes by sending them nice pictures.
I promise to keep protecting dolphins and whales by doing beach cleanups.
I promise to continue inspiring my generation to take action. Thanks to my voter registration drive, more young people are ready to make their voices heard. Power her promise, power her future. Visit sdgirlscouts.org.
If you love animals, Animal Zone is for you. From rescues to animal experts, Animal Zone is fun for the whole family. Watch Animal Zone right here on YourView, Saturdays at 8:30 a.m. and visit animalzone.org to learn more about the show.
Drivers are getting in accidents at a rate we've never seen before, jumping 18% since 2020. There are higher incidents of speeding and more aggressive driving since the pandemic began. Please slow down and drive safely. It can save a life.
At Shelter to Soldier, being a private nonprofit, we rely on the community. Thankfully, we have sponsors like the Barnes firm that get behind us.
We understand the difficulties that many of our veterans face when they come back into civilian life. And this program just seemed like the perfect fit.
Today we're catching up with Barney. He is now in our matching phase of our program. He is meeting eligible veterans in what we call speed dating.
How's it going?
So we have just recently approved 5 new veterans for our program. So Barney will be meeting every single one of them to see if he is the perfect match for them.
Barney's perfect date would be a nice long walk on the beach, and then he would like to end the night with a nice dinner with his veteran.
We got to find the right person for the right dog.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on Your Health. Join Erica Cardenas as she introduces you to health experts and discover how our daily choices affect our well-being. Plus, learn simple tips for healthier living. Your Health, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on YourView and YourView.com. Brought to you by La Mesa Rehab, improving the lives of those with all types of lung disease and long COVID symptoms.
Customer service is a priority for us. We are door and window dealers and specialists in a variety of different product lines. You're going to see 16,000 feet of the largest showroom in San Diego for doors and windows. We have a magnificent space here, much larger than any other dealer in the area, which makes it very comfortable for our customers to see and feel the windows in person. What you need to know about your project, we're going to ask questions about that. We're going to ask you about your lifestyle, perhaps whether you have children or pets, which direction the doors and windows are facing. Do you have a view? Is it about opening space? We want to ask these questions to best service you and provide an overall great experience. People find these things beneficial because we can address perhaps threshold conditions, screen conditions, wall depths, colors, anything else that's important to the project prior to ordering, ensuring, again, complete satisfaction in the long run.
Give us a call or visit us online at PriorityDW.com.
At the Barnes firm, we're seeing more pedestrian and bicycle accidents. Drivers are rolling through red lights, and distracted driving makes every intersection a danger zone for pedestrians. Look both ways when crossing, even if you have the right of way.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
Hey, great friends. This is Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com, along with Grande and the Brown Man. We're back on the airwaves, day 2 of 2023. Today is Wednesday, January 4th, and we're glad everybody's here. If you're listening on 1090 on traditional radio anywhere in Southern California, happy to have you guys around. And be careful out there today because it's rainy and cold. And have you guys, I never really watch the weather. And I really don't ever watch local news, and I kind of get the weather from my phone. But are you guys seeing what is coming this whole week? Are you guys?
I see
familiar?
what's gonna happen in Northern California, and we'll get the remnants of that. I think I don't know how much panic there should be, but I've seen videos of what Sacramento already looks like.
Yeah.
And then what is coming, and I feel like there should be a lot of kind of panic with what's happening at this state capitol. I mean, half the city's underwater, and they're about to get 9 more inches of rain in the next 24 hours.
I know. I mean, that's why I think I mentioned to you guys yesterday, although I know yesterday's show was kind of everything was so much about, the kid Hamlin and what happened in the Monday Night Football game. When I was up in Mammoth last week, guys, I got up there on Monday and it was snowing and raining and it was not great conditions. And then the next day, I want to say it was Tuesday. I mean, the snow was coming down. We probably got 8, 9, 10 inches of snow that day. You always figure out how much snow you got based on how much is on your car, you know?
Yeah.
And I had to go out to the car and brush off the car and scrape off the windshield. And I had to leave the windshield wipers up so that they don't get buried underneath the snow. These are not Southern California problems, by the way. This
is mountain problems.
Yeah.
Is your condo the kind of place where you have to like scrape the snow off the roof too?
No.
Okay. Because I see those videos and those look intense.
No, I don't know. No scraping any snow off.
Have you seen those videos?
Not really.
Crazy. Like,
Yeah,
like
so-
imagine what's on your car,
Yeah.
but on your roof, an
Yeah.
entire roof, and having to get that down so your roof doesn't collapse on you.
I thought it was crazy when they showed the Buffalo Bills players coming back from the game, and their cars had more snow on the top than the sides of the actual car. I'm like, yo, y'all didn't have somebody attend to this in the lot while y'all were gone? Like, this is a mess.
Yeah. How about the actor? Is it Jeremy Renner? Is that his
Yeah.
name? Did
Yeah,
you guys
bro.
hear the story about this guy? Now,
Snowplow.
who is he? Is he like
somebody
is
else.
he
Hawkeye. What you mean, who is he?
he's Hawkeye? What does
Huh?
Hawkeye mean? Is that from the show MASH?
What are we doing? What are we doing? Are you
What
really
is
doing
Hawkeye? I don't know what Hawkeye is.
this? From the Avengers.
He's
Yeah,
like
I don't know the
like
Avengers.
the
You
worst
know I don't
character
watch
on
any
the
of these Marvel
Avengers, yes.
movies. What, Browner? I don't watch
Okay,
Marvel
well,
movies. It's not because I don't
Did
watch.
I
Jeremy
offend
Renner
you with
was
the worst
also
character?
in the Bourne. He was also in the Bourne movies.
Okay, so he's Jason Bourne after Matt. What's his name?
Damon.
Matt Damon. Jeremy
Yes.
Renner is Jason Bourne. I know. So I looked at him and I'm going, I know who he is. I know.
He's a very good actor.
Yeah, no. The Bourne movies. 'Cause I thought I was like, maybe he's 007. Maybe he's James Bond. But no, it's the Bourne movies.
Yeah.
I think probably his most acclaimed movie would be The Hurt
Hawkeye.
Locker. The Hurt
Avengers.
Locker.
The what?
No.
The Hurt Locker.
Oh, the Hurt Locker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
see
yeah,
that.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
now I know.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Did that win an Oscar?
Yeah, I think so. Or
I
it was
thought it
definitely
did.
nominated.
Well, dude,
I
can you
thought-
imagine?
The movie had me
you're-
on edge.
I tried
the
to
whole time.
watch it. It was too slow.
No, but you're like a rich, famous actor. And I think they said that he lives in like the Lake Tahoe area, I think.
Yeah.
And one of his cars or maybe it was his wife kind of got stuck in the snow. And so Renner, the actor, like shows up like he's a real action adventure guy. You know, like he's a real stunt guy. And he's got this crazy ass machine. I don't remember exactly what it's
Snowplow,
called.
basically.
Yeah. But the cop who told the story was very specific on the kind of machine that it was. And it's like, it looks like a, $500,000 piece of machinery
He
that
thought he
removes
was
snow.
Hawkeye in real life with snow.
Yeah.
So he shows up,
He
Renner,
tried to go avenge against that snow.
right? So he goes and he gets his big machine, and because he's got the money, so he's got the toy, and he's plowing and he's moving snow and everything, and gets out of the machine, and apparently the machine starts to kind of like come back towards him or something, and he tries to climb up into the machine. I guess falls off and gets run over by the machine.
Yeah.
And so and he had, as I best recall, he had some kind of like a cardiac related issue. And there's a picture of him on Instagram. Alex is pulling it up right now.
He posted this last night.
Yeah.
Thank you
He's
for
in
all
this
your kind
hospital.
words.
Man.
I'm too messed up now to type.
But in the picture, you can see he's in a hospital bed.
Yeah.
You can see he's got like oxygen in his nose, but he's got on his glasses and hair game intact.
Oh, hair game on point.
Yeah.
Didn't lose a
yeah.
thread of that.
Yeah. So how did we get started here? Oh, it was the weather. It was the rain and all the weather and just everybody be out there, be careful is all I'm trying to say to you, because it's pretty gnarly out there, and it's expected to get worse as the evening goes on. So just be careful. Is that how we started this? Is that
Yes,
how I got
be
onto
careful.
this whole thing?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I know. Okay. Latest update. If you have anything, Grande, I know you're always keeping your eyes on these kinds of things. Latest update as to what is going on now with the kid from the Bills, the first part of that.
Yes.
The Damar Hamlin story. And then the second part of it is, and this is what people are starting to talk about now, because I know I watched a lot of the early morning TV shows. What is the NFL going to do about this game? Because if you're a Buffalo Bills fan and you're competing with the Kansas City Chiefs, who you've already beaten this year, and you're saying, hey, we have a chance for home field advantage throughout the playoffs, so this game is really, really important to us. And if you're the Kansas City Chiefs and you're like, well, hey, we got a game this weekend that is important to us because we could maybe get home field advantage, and the Bills are supposed to play the Patriots, and the Patriots are in a desperate situation. And I mean, just all of these storylines. And aren't the Bengals playing the Ravens this Sunday?
Yes.
And so the Ravens also have a chance, in theory, to still win the division if the Bengals would have lost to the Bills and the Ravens would beat the Bengals. The Ravens could still win and they could still improve their playoff positioning. So while yesterday the whole world was like, don't talk about football. If you talk about football, you're a horrible human being. Don't talk about the football part of it. Only talk about the kid and send good vibes and
vibrations, baby.
Don't talk football. Today, literally 24 hours later, people are starting. This is whether it be the NFL, whether it be, ESPN, Fox, whoever is covering this stuff. Today, the conversation has advanced to what are they going to do? Because the Buffalo fans might think it's unfair. The Bengals fans could potentially, the Ravens fans, the Chiefs fans. I mean, there are a lot of fan bases and teams that may get kind of screwed in a way if the game is not ultimately played.
But you can't.
And there isn't a result.
Look, I hear you. I hear you. The logistics of it. You're speaking from a business logistics standpoint of the other teams who are not involved in this. But again, I think there's a simple solution to this. Either you give these guys a tie or you give both the teams a win. Because if you don't, go ahead.
How do you give both teams a win?
Because you cannot penalize either team. And by playing the game again, we don't know if this kid's going to live.
I know.
So we're going to speak as if he's going to make a recovery and he's going to have some form of a life after this. So let's do that with that assumption. So we're doing that. Who does it hurt if you give both teams a win?
Okay, hold on, because I think there's an answer to that, and we're just sort of, workshopping this on the air. If you give both teams a win, you are hurting the Chiefs and you're hurting the Ravens.
So now, let me interject.
You eliminate the Ravens from the AFC North title contention, which means they're not hosting a playoff game. That means they have to go on the road. And going into week 18, that means the Bills are the 1 seed and the Chiefs are the 2 seed, which means the Bills get a bye and the Chiefs do not.
So if you
the answer to your question is you are hurting, and we may not be thinking this all the way through, but at least at the very beginning, you're hurting the Chiefs.
But you didn't ask it this way.
Yeah.
But you're also benefiting massively 2 teams, just handing them a win.
Now, let me pose a question to both of you. The Cincinnati Bengals play the Baltimore Ravens, yes?
Yes.
So there's a chance to clean that up. Whatever happens.
No, not if you give them a win.
Right, because here's the thing, Brown. Cincinnati's 11-4. Baltimore's 10-6. Let's just say that the league says we'll never play this game. So Cincinnati's 11-4 and Baltimore's 10-6. But let's say Baltimore wins. Baltimore's 11-6 and Cincinnati's 11-5. Who wins the division? Who has the better winning percentage?
You look at this game in a vacuum and you go, whoever wins this game due to last week's circumstances win the division.
That's not going to happen.
It doesn't. Can I just say one thing though about this, guys? Because look, we all lived through and we're on the radio and on YouTube and on TV every day throughout COVID. And while the NBA shut down and college basketball shut down and baseball got bubbled and basketball got bubbled, you guys remember that the NFL went, we don't really care about COVID.
This ain't
We're
that.
We're going through COVID. And here's what happened, as you guys will recall. There was a game, I'm trying to remember who, Pittsburgh was definitely playing in this game, but it was like a Tuesday afternoon, right? It was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday. And there was an NFL football game. Was it Pittsburgh and Baltimore?
Baltimore, because they made everybody play. Because it was the Broncos, because in the Ravens, because there was one of the teams the Broncos had no quarterback because the whole quarterback room had got COVID.
Yeah.
And then the league made them play anyway because they broke the COVID rules and they got destroyed.
Let's also not forget, this is also the league that miraculously in the 2020 season had no COVID during the playoffs.
Immediately.
And last year during that winter outbreak that everybody was getting COVID again in December and January, I don't even think they were testing anymore. There wasn't a single player that missed, I don't think, a playoff game because of COVID, at least not a significant key name player. So Browner, I hear you, dude. I hear you. But at the end of the day, this was the league that was going to make them finish that game. So I hear what you're saying. And if all signs pointed south, and at this moment, all signs look to be positive, they're baby steps for the kid.
Mm-hmm.
If all signs were, this is terrible, nothing's good's going to happen, then maybe I understand what you're saying. But at the end of the day, this $9 billion league will get this game in.
I agree.
And here's my pushback. Here's my pushback to both of you. Mm-hmm. A guy stopped breathing on the field due to play on their marquee night.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a sports story. This is a news story.
So you're going to
cancel
and
what the NFL is more aware of than anything is perception. And a continued perception that they don't care about their players because a guy who almost died, you're still going to play the game.
Okay,
the game is not important.
Okay, but I have a question for you. Do you, let's say, just play this out for me for a second. Let's say that the young man does not come out of the coma by Sunday of this weekend.
Then you can't play any games.
Okay. So if the young man does come out of the coma, business as usual.
Yes.
If the young man is still in a hospital and is still comatose, then the NFL should completely not play any games this weekend?
If they wake him up and he does not make it through, because they say they're supposed to wake him up tonight or tomorrow to see how he responds. If he doesn't wake up, don't play at all on Sunday. Nobody plays.
Okay, so then what happens to week 18?
They figure it out.
Okay, so that's the situation that they find themselves in regardless, is we got to figure out, and I say we, I mean the NFL. We got to figure this out. Kansas City's 13-3, Buffalo's 12-3, Cincinnati's 11-4. If Buffalo beat Cincinnati, in theory, Buffalo's 13-3 and they're tied with Kansas City, and I'm, without being 1000% an expert on all the numbers, my guess would be Buffalo would have the head-to-head tie breaker over Kansas City. And that would put Kansas City as the 2 and Buffalo as the 1. On the other hand, if Cincinnati beat Buffalo and Cincinnati were 12-4 and Buffalo were 12-4, Kansas City's in the driver's seat at 13-3 with their final game coming up this weekend. I think they play the Raiders. I got to get the schedule pulled up.
I will say this. If the week that's supposed to be coming is new, it's not, it didn't exist 2 years ago. So the fact that you can literally just get rid of the week and go, hey, everybody,
Browner,
that game's going to be.
Browner, I love where your heart's at, my man. That is never going to happen. And I'm coming at you from the NFL perspective, not the Alex Padilla perspective. I am telling you that these games, whatever happens to Damar Hamlin, these games will be played this weekend. Whatever happens to Damar Hamlin.
I agree. I agree, and I'm with you. And
the
Brown,
Bengals and Bills will play at some point.
Yep. And here's the thing. Kansas City plays on Saturday against Las Vegas. Same day, Tennessee plays Jacksonville. Both games have impact in the playoff race. And so even if the young man doesn't come out of it by Saturday, or even if there's still not a conclusion by Saturday, they're playing these games, in my opinion. I also agree with Alex that take your heart out of it for just a moment and just be the NFL, knowing what you know of the NFL. Just be the NFL for a minute. The NFL is likely going to say this game has to be completed.
Let me give you an update so you guys can continue with this, okay? NFL Executive Vice President Jeff Miller says conversations about the status of Bills Bengals are ongoing. This is decision coming in the next few days. Troy Vincent says the focus has been on Damar Hamlin, and they've just begun speaking about possible scenarios. There is more. Hold on. I just pulled it up.
Okay.
This goes even further, and you could take from it, this sounds like they're going to play with whoever is able to play.
Okay.
Troy Vincent says, quote, everything is being considered when it comes to the Bills-Bengals game. The guiding principles that took us into the 2020 season with COVID are there. It may not be perfect, but will allow those participating to be able to play.
Yeah. See, to me, that's what we're talking about here is that when you go back to the COVID year of 2020, when the NBA bubbled and when baseball decided to go down to Texas and there were no fans in the stands, even when, there were home games, things found a way to go on.
Yeah, they did, but that wasn't this though. Everybody was getting COVID. Guys weren't getting COVID and collapsing on the field. Like this is not this. I understand what they're saying. I understand what you're saying. I hear you guys. And I don't disagree with you, to be perfectly honest. I do think the games are being played. What I'm saying is this is not that. This was a visual thing that people saw, similar to the Ray Rice video. Once you saw it, it was different. When you saw Kareem Hunt kick this woman in a hallway, that made it different. This is different.
I just know that I just think that
but
there's years and years and years of the NFL telling you otherwise.
Yes, right. There's precedent.
And what the NFL is telling you is, and whether this is what I'm about to say is going to be distasteful, but please understand what I'm saying is it's coming from the NFL side of where my brain is. It's terribly tragic. It's horribly sad, but nothing stops the NFL. Not COVID, not one person collapsing on the field and possibly dying, not one person getting paralyzed on the field, not a player stumbling because he's got a concussion problem. Nothing stops the NFL.
See, but
Zach Taylor had a press conference today. Zach Taylor is already talking to the media. The Bengals are back at practice.
All those things that you said before, those things are baked into accept the concussion part. All that other we've conditioned ourselves to accept those things. What happened Monday night is across the line. That's all I'm saying.
I know. I hear what you're saying, but it doesn't change the fact that my feeling is, knowing what I know of the NFL, not only do I think they play week 18 no matter what, I also think that the cushion of the week between the championship weekend and the Super Bowl, that's the weekend where I suspect things get pushed back.
And
the AFC NFC championship game is a week ahead of the Super Bowl rather than 2 weeks.
I don't know how they're going to do it. I truly don't. But I just know that the fact that Troy Vincent already said those who are able to play will be allowed to play.
What does that even mean?
It means whatever Buffalo Bill player wants to play, they'll play.
But now you're putting, and this is what you're going to start hearing. Now you're putting pressure on guys who may not want to play, but they're also not going to desert the other players by sending them out there without them.
We heard that during COVID with the vaccine mandates. We heard
correct.
It's not unprecedented. And I'm with Scott. If it were up to me, I think that you have to just wait and see. But it's not that. There's 30 other teams that were just not as heavily impacted by Buffalo Bills. There might be teams out there that don't even know who Damar Hamlin, they never even played the Bills this year.
Well, there's fan bases that are, and again, nobody cares about the fans per se, but there's fan bases that will gripe and complain.
Yes.
Think about it. And so
I agree. I agree with you guys. I'm not saying that you guys are wrong. I'm saying that there's another side to this.
Yeah.
And I think
I hear you.
That other side needs to be taken into heavy consideration because the fallout from it.
I hear you, man. And I think that your heart's in the right place. My mind is thinking about
business.
Jerry Jones calling Roger Goodell and saying, we got to play. All right, hold on. We got a lot more to get to on this. Hey, before I hit this break, I just want to remind everybody about Penske San Diego, PenskeSanDiego.com. If you're looking for a new or certified pre-owned car, Penske San Diego has 12 dealerships, and they've got 9 different brands that they represent: Acura, Audi, BMW, Honda, Lexus, Mini, Mazda, Mercedes, and Toyota. But if those brands aren't for you, there's tons of other cars that have been turned in, have been traded in. So certified pre-owned, every brand you're looking for. And really the easiest way to do it is go to PenskeSanDiego.com. Lots more to get to. Stick around. This is Kaplan and Crew.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Priority Doors and Windows off Miramar Road is San Diego's largest door and window showroom open to the public. We specialize in quality, custom, and unique doors and windows for every style of home. Priority Doors and Windows offers excellent service and selection with windows by top manufacturers like Fleetwood, La Cantina, Milgard, and more. For the highest value at competitive prices, come visit our showroom off Miramar Road. Just look for San Diego's largest flag or visit us online at PriorityDW.com.
Hola, I'm J.R. Cardenas.
And I'm Vanessa Ramirez.
We're the hosts for Su Vida, where we showcase California restaurants, music,
art, culture, and so much more.
We would love to talk to you about featuring your business on our show.
Yes, and as an added bonus, you get to keep the professional video segment to repurpose and use on your website or social media channels.
Please click on the link below to get more information about how to put your business on Su Vida.
We hope to hear from you soon.
When you're in pain, you need physical therapy that works, but you want to feel safe during these times. At La Mesa Rehab, your health is our business. We screen each patient, provide masks, and constantly sanitize our private individual treatment areas so you can focus on healing. The foundation of our physical therapy is education. Our therapists care and guide you through the healing process. Ask your doctor about La Mesa Rehab.
The best care you can have at La Mesa Rehab.
When doors open for kids, they change lives. For over 75 years, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater San Diego has been opening its doors to provide a safe place for kids whenever they are out of school. A place with caring mentors and opportunities to focus on academic success, healthy lifestyles, and character building. At the club, we do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid that walks through our doors by inspiring, empowering, and changing lives.
If you're going to count yourself as a fan of this radio station, you'll need to continuously ask yourself one basic question. Am I listening enough? Pro tip, wives are not a good source for input on this. This is the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio.
Many are adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to their homes. Our experience, plus our strong relationship with the city, makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
We listen to you first, then design and build. Visit MurrayLampert.com for your consultation.
At Shelter to Soldier, being a private nonprofit, we rely on the community. Thankfully, we have sponsors like the Barnes firm that get behind us.
We understand the difficulties that many of our veterans face when they come back into civilian life. And this program just seemed like the perfect fit.
Today we're catching up with Barney. He is now in our matching phase of our program. He is meeting eligible veterans in what we call speed dating.
How's it going?
So we have just recently approved 5 new veterans for our program. So Barney will be meeting every single one of them to see if he is the perfect match for them.
Barney's perfect date would be a nice long walk on the beach, and then he would like to end the night with a nice dinner with his veteran.
We gotta find the right person for the right dog.
Hey, great friends, it's Scott Kaplan here, and I want you to come check out our new TV show. It's called Kaplan and Crew Tonight, every Monday through Friday at 7 o'clock right here. Now, look, it's the best of the radio show from earlier that day on the mightier 1090, and we've been doing it for 20 years, so now we're expanding the way we talk about sports and the way we can be heard and viewed.
Kaplan and Crew Tonight. Be a part of the crew. Weeknights from 7 to 8 p.m. on Your View.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
This is how you sign up for Cox user ID at cox.com. You can connect to free Wi-Fi hotspots and watch your favorite shows while you're out with the Contour app. It's like by registering, I unleashed my full potential.
Kind of like he unleashed theirs.
Sign up for a Cox ID at Cox.